Are you tense or tight over the golf ball? Do you struggle creating a nice smooth start to your golf swing? If this sounds like you, you're gonna love today's lesson. I got a couple of key ideas to help you create a golf swing trigger to help you get your swing started like the pros. You don't wanna miss this one. Let's dig in. All right, for this lesson, we're gonna talk about golf swing triggers. Simple things you can do before the act of swinging to help your golf club move away from the golf ball in a smooth and timely fashion. So we've got two components to this lesson. Number one is going to be target awareness. Then number two is going to be the actual trigger itself. So relative to target awareness, far too many golfers are spending just a little bit of time connecting with the target and way too much time staring down here at the golf ball. So they take a little look at the target, they start taking a long look at the ball, they're getting fixated on the ball, and before you know it, they're stiff, they're rigid, they've turned into a statue. Starting your golf swing off in a smooth, timely fashion from there, it's just not going to happen. So what we need to be able to do from a target to ball awareness perspective is we got to flip that around a little bit. So we're going to take a long look at the target, really getting connected with where we're trying to go, followed by a short look at the ball. Once we get that club head on the ground, we're going to get that club moving sooner than not. So long look, short look versus short look, long look. That's the first tip. The second thing we're going to do now is put these triggers into play. And the thing about a trigger is that you need to understand that your movement of the club away from the target is going to start with a move towards the target, right? So we're not going to move the club towards the target, but we're going to move our body in one way or another towards the target as a means of starting the move away from the target. So I think I heard Jim McLean, the Hall of Fame coach, refer to triggers in this way, right? Your trigger starts with a move towards the target, or your swing away from the target starts with a move towards the target, something you maybe haven't considered before. And the simplest trigger that I like to put into play that embodies that idea is simply feeling like before I feel a little bit of pressure moving into my trail foot, into my backswing, is I'm going to start with applying pressure to my lead foot to be the trigger of my swinging action, right? So I take my setup, I take a long look towards the target, a short look down at the golf ball, I put the club head on the ground, I pressure my lead foot, and that starts the pressure shift from my lead foot into my trail foot. Right? So putting that together looks just like this. Long look, short look, club head down, pressure the lead foot, and we swing away. So a simple application of pressure to the lead foot is one trigger you can consider putting into your game. Trigger number two is fairly similar to trigger number one, but this time we're going to take this trail foot and we're going to lift the heel about a ½ inch up off the ground. So this trail heel right here is going to lift about a ½ inch up off the ground. And when I do that, I'm going to feel some pressure onto my lead foot. And then once I replant that heel, that signifies the start of my golf swing. Right, so here we go again. Long look at the target, short look at the ball, lift the heel, replant the heel, and that would be trigger number two. Trigger number three, we're going to steal from Gary Player, the Black Knight. And if you've been a fan of golf for any period of time, you know who Gary Player is. And one of the unique things about Gary Player's swing is that he starts with a very pronounced kicking of this trail knee towards the lead knee. Right? So that's a move towards the target before he starts his move away from the target. He kicks the knee inwards, that puts pressure on his lead foot. And as that knee reestablishes its position, he feels some pressure moving into his trail instep. Right? So here we go, Gary Player. Long look at the target, short look at the ball, kick the knee in, and then swing away. So everything we've done so far has been a very small move towards the target in one way or another as a means of projecting or kickstarting the move of the club away from the ball. The final trigger is going to be a little rotation towards the target. So Matthew Wolff on PGA Tour, Sam Snead, a more classic swinger, a little rotation of that lower body towards the target before that trail foot receives some pressure along with that rotation away from the target. Right? So Sam Snead, Matthew Wolff to some degree, right? Not quite as exaggerated as he is. Long look at the target, short look at the ball, little turn towards the target, followed by that turn away from the target. So one thing that I haven't done here is create my move towards the target with my hands. And I know there are a lot of players who like to feel a little forward press out of the handle. But I feel like when people do that, they really run the risk of pushing the hands too far forward and moving the hands forward independent of any body action. And if the hands get too far forward, your club face is going to twist out of position. And it's also really easy for that takeaway to travel too much inside or around behind your body. So I don't mind seeing the handle moving a little bit towards the target, but if my handle's moving towards the target, it's usually because of the influence from my lower body, right? So with my particular trigger, pumping that lead foot, putting some pressure into that lead foot as a means of starting the swing, long look at the target, short look at the ball, I touch, I pressure that lead foot, hey, the handle's moving forward just a little bit, but I'm not independently moving the handle. So if you're considering building a trigger, I kind of like starting off with a simple one, just pressuring that lead foot. You can certainly try these other iterations, lifting and replanting the heel, kicking the knee, feeling some twist out of your belt buckle towards the target, then back away again. Whichever one you choose, you might have a little bit of forward handle movement, but try and feel like it's part of the whole, being influenced by the movement of the body as opposed to keeping your lower body steady and just moving the handle forward. All right, so one more time. Long look at the target, short look at the ball, touch the club down, pressure the lead foot, and away you go, right? So I know a lot of you are working on the mechanics of your golf swing. You're concerned with face and path and angle of attack and how fast the club's going. And believe me, all that stuff is hugely important. But especially during the off season, when you got a little bit of time inside away from the golf course, I think it's really valuable to spend some time working on the mechanics of something as simple as a trigger. You know, being able to, be out in your garage, maybe spend some time with some live golf balls or some wiffle balls. Don't worry about where the balls are going, but instead just spend some time on the process, on the procedure. How do you walk into the ball? Is it the same every time? Getting your eyes more connected with a target as opposed to just looking at the golf ball. Long look, followed by the short look, then incorporate one of those triggers. A little pressure on the lead foot, a lifting of the trail heel, a kicking of the trail knee, a little rotation out of the hips. Find one that resonates with you and works for you. I know when you get back out there on the golf course, it's going to make a huge difference in the quality and also the predictability behind your ball striking. So thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed our time together, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, leave those comments below. Until next time, best of luck with your game.